Yeah, and I feel like it's more like a matchup towards the end of the table, I would say. Flyme definitely not having the best World League right now, and Maldunctionn also, you know, a lot of people had high hopes with her, but so far a bit disappointing in some aspects. But 41% is honestly not too bad considering the players she is going up against. But yeah, against Flyme, I feel like it's a must-win situation for her, just to, you know, keep the chance alive to make it to the majors. And if you win the major, you can definitely qualify to the World Cup still. So there's still a possibility, but you know it's getting smaller and smaller with every loss she accumulates.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in this matchup, Flyme versus Maldunctionn, I feel like both players kind of lack consistency. For example, Maldunctionn is a player who plays a lot of moving and is really focused on moving gameplay. And I feel like however, okay, I take that back. I wanted to say Maldunctionn, whenever she loses the moving game, she will have a hard time. But she actually won a lot of NMPZ and no-move games as well. So it's kind of hard to predict, but still, there are some inconsistencies in their guesses, definitely. Also on Flyme's side, I feel like there's a lot of stuff he needs to know if you play in this league that he sometimes lacks. But on the other hand, he sometimes surprises everyone with very insane guesses. So yeah, it's about getting the right guess at the right time for either side here.
Yep, can only second that one. Both of them instantly zooming in, or should I say rather Maldunctionn is only zooming in, and very interesting to see because I would imagine Maldunctionn to look for good information, but maybe she found a town name and now is just scanning for it. But both of them going for the north of Peru here.
Yep, makes sense with the sandiness. Somewhere along the coast. Kind of hard to reach, I guess. Urban Peru. They both end up going a bit further north, but it was just around Chimbote.
Yeah, I definitely agree with urban South American. Can be quite hard sometimes, especially Argentina, Chile. Usually don't have a lot of information on it, so yep, definitely something to keep in mind. This just looks like the road in the northwest of South Africa, driving left, you know, with the blue Google car.
Especially the road lines we had in the beginning. Those double lines in a gap with the dashed lines is something you see a lot in South Africa. And if you have this dry landscape, you think of more inland, west and north. The further south you go, the greener it gets.
Yep. That is true.
They both end up south of Carnarvon. It was north of it. Maldunctionn on the right side. Gaining a sweet 100 points.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. Just a few points. South Africa, definitely very good when you find a sign, because they usually just give you the town name to a very big one.
Yeah, they give you everything you need. Usually you also have the road number on it, usually. Very good signage in South Africa.
And now
we get to them.
Yeah, I thought we did spawn next to a bus stop, but I'm not sure whether it was actually a bus stop, because they are regional. In the country of Sweden, where we are. Why is it Sweden, Geologist?
Yeah, we have the dashed lines along the road. We have a slight red tint in the road. I don't know if you notice it, but it's definitely something you pick up with the more you see it. Definitely also a good clue for Sweden. They love their red tints in the road. Besides that, of course we had language. But after you see those yellow signs and short dashed lines, I think only Sweden is possible with short dashed and yellow signs.
And it wasn't a bus stop, by the way, at spawn. I saw that.
Happens. Pretty far north there. Kind of hard to reach, I guess, especially if it's hilly. You consider more the western side of Sweden. But you also have some southwest of Umeå, where you get a lot of hills.
Yeah, even all the way to the coast. There are some national parks just on the coast there, where you can go hiking even.
Yeah, indeed, and we are in Australia. Again, driving on the left side, we have, well, hard to explain by the driving side here, because you could look either way and tell the driving side if you are alone on the road, but now we are catching up on another car, and we see that car is on the left.
And it's just Tasmania again.
Yes,
You see
again,
these
we have that brownish soil again. Whereas this time it's a bit more sandy, but we also have the possum guard. Not specific to Tasmania, but very, very, very common.
And it's just down outside Queenstown there. Obviously, Queenstown, one of the most common names in both, or pretty much every former colony of the UK. You can see it in Australia, you can see it in New Zealand, and probably in a lot of other countries. But Chalotris, I mean, another one today.
Indeed, another one. We are back to Turkey. We have May coverage, maybe May, April.
Maybe.
Which you see on that span from Ankara towards Bolu towards. Okay.
And where's
I mean,
Ayas?
which is
It did say
Ayas
Ayas.
is west of Ankara.
Okay. Well, it did say that on the bin, but I wouldn't expect anyone to know that other than you, so...
It is very small. It is very small, but yeah, as I said, with this fall coverage, most of that is between, yeah, as a rule of thumb, between Bursa and a bit east of Ankara is where you have those hilly spring coverages. And I think Ayas is also within the Ankara province, if I'm not mistaken.
And yeah, it definitely sure is. That is just right in the middle of Ankara province, pretty much.
Yep.
But again, you know, they both found the information, but I feel like that is too specific to know.
Don't expect anyone to know Ayas.
Meanwhile, they will both get the road here, because this road
it
is
is
famous.
the construction road along the lake in Kazakhstan. All of this road has this distinct coverage.
Yeah.
However, on this span of the road, you don't see the construction really. But it still looks distinct.
Yeah, you have these hills in the distance sometimes, random hills, and it just looks like it. Also sunset sometimes.
Yeah. We also have to mention there aren't too many roads covered in Kazakhstan, so...
also a big factor, yeah.
Therefore, some roads are more recognizable. It is that road still, but it can also look like that. Well, it was clear that we are not along the lake. I thought we are south or north of it, because we didn't have the construction along the road, which you get along the lake. Yeah.
And another ZAR and another road number on the spawn. You don't really have to move here. The question is, who knows the town Citron? Just sounds like citrus.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It is the R26. I feel... Did it say 26?
I'm not sure. I only saw Citron.
Well, I feel like knowing the road number is more important, and then you scan along the road number for Citron, but... Yeah.
It seems like... or it says Sastron.
Oh, Sastron could be it.
Wasn't my first vibe guess just downtown Lesotho there?
Nope, not at all. I mean, we have a Table Mountain there in the distance.
But you get so caught up in scanning there that you don't really look around at your surroundings, because obviously that sign is usually better than any type of mountain you see there, but could have helped him at least minimizing the points lost there.
And we go over to this round, which looks like India to me. We have some English, but it's a company name.
The question is, who knows how to read?
Yeah, we have language clues. There are multiple languages in India. How many is it? I still don't know. Is it 7 languages?
I think, yeah, but there's a lot of dialects.
But even, yeah.
But also, I think there was a Maha Pole there. Was
okay,
it?
I did not see it.
Or maybe not.
Is it Maharashtrian language though?
Maharati?
Maharati?
I'm not sure. Or it was an Andhra Pradesh Pole. I'm not quite confident here, but...
Let's see that more. That would fit more with the language, but we will find out.
Oh, good sign found. And it looks like it says the state and the town.
Malfunction going back to spawn. I thought she's going to line something up now.
And I mean, that is quite literally on the border.
Between Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. I don't know which side. It looks like on Madhya Pradesh because there's like a pocket south of it.
Yeah, I think so too. Then it was definitely Madhya pole. I said Andhra Pradesh earlier. Sorry, I mixed up the Pradeshes. Why do they have three Pradesh and they're so far away from each other?
True. They should rename it.
Facts. Well, anyway.
Make it easier for us, please.
True.
And yeah, those street signs are very Latin American. Colorful. And we should be in Argentina with that concrete pole there.
And you won't know what I said earlier about guessing urban Argentina and moving and finding information in those cities.
Yeah,
it can be quite tough.
Very difficult. Sometimes you have, maybe if you're lucky, you can have a city on those street signs written in a very small text, but usually you don't. And just generally, I feel like in all of South America, urban rounds tend to not have that much information. Especially in Chile. I struggle in Chile a lot to find town names in urban environments. But they both decide to click somewhere around Rosario. Always a good hedge to cover a lot of big cities.
And now, not much time left for Flyme to turn this moving game around. I think we are on the final round here. And we're back in Za. Third round of this moving game being in the same country. Question is, will there be a sign? Because if there's a sign, it would be over for Flyme pretty much instantly. But he doesn't opt to insta-guess here. Oh, and Malfunction found a road name. That is...
lining it up as well. I mean, South Africa also a country where you could learn your red roads. Because there aren't too many. Because, like, a lot of them are north of Pretoria and... I mean, here you could tell by the landscape that you aren't there, and then you can run out to just a couple roads. But if you get the right information, you will be on it, and so is Malfunction. And she takes the win on the moving game.
Yeah, guess the right road there. We're basically in Namibia there. Also a very recognizable road, as you said. Red roads are worth learning. Zigzag with a 5k, that one for sure. And Malfunction, kind of clean moving game, I have to say. Obviously, both not really picking up that many good clues in some round. We saw the India round. But other than that, pretty well played by Malfunction.
Indeed. Yeah, no move. We have a post box there.
Yeah.
You know, starting off playing GeoGuessr, I thought I'm always good of only guessing United States with that, but it can also be in Canada. However, with this landscape, I feel like we're a bit more southern.
Whoa.
It's Oklahoma, and would you look at that? Region guessing Oklahoma there.
Hey, some people might say it's a hedge, but...
no.
Nope.
No, I refuse.
I refuse to believe that.
No, she's not surprised about the guess. She's not surprised about the guess, therefore she knew. And we move over to this winter-ish. Not ish, it's definitely winter.
Yep.
Winter round. And you have that a lot in Russia. From Moscow all the way down to the Caucasus. And you get this coverage.
Yeah, what you saw both players doing here is looking for birches, because birches kind of stop near like Shakti. So definitely good if you don't see one. But I feel like there were some birches there through the tree line, and Malfunction getting the right oblast there in Penza. Not sure how again, but it's a pretty good start for the game for her.
Indeed. Yeah, especially on round 3, getting your opponent down to almost 4k is pretty impressive. As we are in Peru again, we have those tuk-tuks. And the green landscape again. And again, we are not really on the main road, I would assume. It could be, though.
It looks like a pretty big road. It could be a main road, but...
Yeah. But if you want to keep it safe and go by chances, you always guess around Tarapoto, I guess. But this time it was the road to Pucallpa. Makes sense. Also very jungly green. Not much happening there.
Nope. As you said, it's just a safety guess, just a lot more dense coverage around Tarapoto, so it's always, you know, can be a smart idea to guess there. Maybe not guess there every time you see a green Peru, but some very distinct license plates, right? Why is the color so greenish, yellowish?
Yeah, I forgot where you get them. There are definitely different license plates within South Africa, but I feel like they're not worth learning because usually you can't tell the tint out, but in this case we can.
I mean, especially on both, like...
I know KwaZulu-Natal has some very distinct license plates.
It doesn't look like KwaZulu-Natal to me, though. This looks way too dry.
But yeah, on this location I would not guess KwaZulu-Natal, especially with how flat it is.
I kind of like either Bloemfontein or... I don't know, it looks very dry, but we're in a big city, so they just planted some trees.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Bloemfontein is always a safety hedge to cover a lot, and it was just on the label, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't even know what town lies there. That's beyond my knowledge.
But thankfully, I always have the map open on the side, and I would assume it was Bridgetown or the R. Yeah, one of the two, probably.
Ghana tape and Big 2025.
Yep. The good old Ghana tape. I love that. Very important.
I think the better meta here is the taxis with the yellow side doors and random yellow elements. Also very cool thing you see in Ghana.
Quite interesting that they've all decided to just build their cars like that. Or paint it like that. But I love that. I love when like a country just decides to do some country-specific things, which are pretty random, but at the same time kind of cool. Especially for us GeoGuessr players to know, okay, that's only in that one country.
And another Denmark, yet again. Danish bollard right there. And it is some island. Don't ask me the name of this island. No clue what that is.
Again, I could look it up, but I don't want to butcher the pronunciation.
Yeah, then you need to pronounce it. Oh yeah, especially that name. Yeah, I'm not saying
We'll go to round 7 here.
Not saying that one. The Danish people can put the name in chat, but yeah, I'm not pronouncing that one, quite frankly. We go to India, yet again. How do these people guess this location, though?
Good question. We have some colorful houses.
And just a label click by Maldunctionn.
Yeah. I cannot blame her for that. I don't see any specific poles. The architecture looks a bit more southern to me for some reason, but the landscape looks more northern.
I think we did have like Hindi language, and wow, it is all the way in the northernmost pocket of Punjab, I think.
Yeah.
How did we not see any mountains there? That is quite interesting.
Question. That is a good question. I probably I blame the camera quality. Probably didn't see that far with that.
Yep, me too.
But yeah, we
never
are
blame
Poland
yourself.
here.
Always blame the round.
No,
game.
There's always something you can blame, just not yourself.
True that.
Yeah, Poland here with very flat landscape.
And Flyme tries to region guess.
We have the yellow yield sign there.
Ooh. Region guessing Poland. It's not impossible, and that's 2.5k damage. And now
that's insane.
Anything's possible, really. I mean, high multis. Flyme, just get one good guess in, and the game is yours. And then we're tied up at 1-1. And we do get a big country, it seems like.
It does seem like it. Looks like the US to me.
I'm intersending Indiana, Ohio here.
Yeah, the trees look very northern. Yeah, we have those big bushy pines, which you shouldn't see too often in the south. But besides that, of course, quite difficult as we are in a forest, but with how green it is at the same time and flat, are we in the grid?
It is a north-south grid, so that also leans me more to the north and west, midwest.
I like the plains then, yeah, Indiana, Illinois. Could be a good guess here.
Flyme in Tennessee or Kentucky there. And what a guess by Maldunctionn. Not even in the right state, just region guessing the state casually, and that will be her 2-0 victory, very important for her to, you know, just keep the dream alive somehow. But I think against Flyme it was just a must-win situation for her. Definitely an opponent where you need to get those 3 points, because I feel like a lot of other opponents will get those 2-0s as well. So you don't want to lose the points where you can definitely